Hi everyone, this is a free clearing on the subject of lack. And this clearing idea comes from another subscriber who sent me an email saying that she really feels like regardless of what's going on with her bank account, she always tends to have this fear or this anxiety about lack, of not having enough. And even when she finds evidence to show that she has plenty, there's still this underlying worry or fear on lack, that she's just going to wake up and not have enough, not have what she needs, or never feeling like she has enough. And so I thought this was a great subject to look at today. So let's dive in and see what we need to clear for you. And I just want to preface this by saying this could have to do with a feeling of a lack of money. It could be the feeling of never enough. You might feel like it's a lack of friends. I never seem to have friends or enough friends. I never seem to have enough of what I need in terms of help or resources. So whatever it is for you, your non-physical team is going to connect in and work on where you are running that energy. But what I'm going to do is connect in and look at the manifestations of the experience of lack, where it comes from, how it's showing up, and we're going to see if we can pull this today so that you can actually experience the feeling of abundance, of having plenty, of having more than you need, because it's really not always about the number on your bank account or the number of friends. It's the feeling. There's a feeling element here. So let's see what's coming up. I'm just going to have you relax your body for a moment, close your eyes, take a breath. I'm going to do the same. So I would like to call upon and invoke or bring forth the very highest vibration of source energy, which is love, wisdom, light, and understanding, to step into this clearing. I would like to ask that I remain neutral and clear on behalf of anyone listening. And so it is. So let's go ahead and put a bubble of love and light around you, people and animals around you, around me, people and animals around me. And I want to know if I am working with myself, listeners, high self, or both. Nobody. So we have some blocks or interferences or some issues coming up, even blocking us from being able to dive into the subject. So what is it? Energies of regret regarding being stingy towards self, being withholding to self, energies of subservience, and energies of loneliness. Now, these are all energies that are contributing to this experience of lack. So I want to know if this is enough now, enough research to release it. So let's go ahead and let that go. So am I working with myself, listeners, high self, or both? Now both. Does anyone have blocks to receiving or benefiting from this session, from the modality that I'm using, or from me personally? No. So how long will it take to apply the prep to work list to me, my high self, listener, their high self? Apply it now. What's the lowest level of consciousness for anyone on my high self committee? Where is my soul's consciousness or level of awareness on behalf of anyone listening? And lowest level of consciousness for anyone on listeners' high self committee. Listener soul's consciousness or soul's level of awareness is another way of saying that. Good. Where is my ego, listener's ego on this subject? Does anyone who is listening have opening soul drips, tears? Yes. Discarnate separate entities, attachments? Yes. So let's go ahead and release that now. Let's just look for a minute if you have some programming to pick up on discarnate separates, beings basically who are out of body. The other way we would refer to this is spirits. Imprints of beings out of body, imprints of energies of others. And so let's just kind of drill down on this for a minute, because it's a great thing to clear. So let me just pause for a minute and explain what tends to happen with this. So you can be going along in your day and you could be, let's say you're running an energy of lack or an energy of frustration. When you have programming to pick up on discarnates or separates, beings out of body, what's usually happening is they're running a matching energy. And so they're drawn in to your vibration because it's a match to their own. And so they'll connect in, and then what happens is you'll experience the issue in a very magnified way, because not only are you feeling you, but you're feeling whomever is attached running the same energy. So it's like a double whammy. So if you, let's say you go to a store, let's say you go to the grocery store, you walk in, you feel fine. While you're there, you can feel like you're picking up on this kind of heaviness. Maybe you leave and all of a sudden you have a headache. You feel kind of gross, lethargic. That's usually an indication that you've kind of picked up or taken on an energy, an imprint, a being that it's just something that's not yours. And so what I'm doing is I'm clearing programming that you're running in the soul records, or that you're running through ancestral lineage, that would be a match, make you a magnet for that experience. So let's release that first. So this is a Discarnates and Entities program that was established for you in a past life. So this is a group energy. There's a harm to the group, a mental harm by a spiritual or religious figure. The program or the energy from the past life that was activated, that's unresolved and still running for you in the now, is an energy of overwhelm, feelings of helplessness, anxiety, frustration, hardship, rejection, and paranoia as it relates to other people's energy. And so I want to know if we can go ahead and clear this. Let's clear the lifetime, the program, and those unresolved energies. Just going to let that go ahead and unwind for a moment. And if you can just take a nice deep breath, release it whenever you're ready. Just want to move your energy through breath. Is there another program? Yeah, Discarnates and Entities program and an imprint of feeling abandoned by the divine, God, spirit, goddess, higher power. This comes from a past experience. Again, group consciousness experience. There's a mental harm, but this time this is a harm to self, and it's a harm to self through holding on to fear. Fear about other people's energy. So is this enough to clear it? Let's release it now. Anything more? Anyone listening have any other programs that would allow them to be a magnet or to be picking up on discarnates or entities or attachments? No. What about imprints of others? No. Great. So let's dive into our topic now, can we? Yes. So to what degree is anyone who is listening running programming of lack? 100%. And so where do we go to release it? It says energies of victimization, energies of helplessness, originally not yours, originally through genetic lineage. This is where you've inherited programs or energies of lack, victimization or helplessness that would create an experience of lack through DNA, through ancestral lineage. So this is both mother and father side. And is there anything else about the energy, the programs, the imprints, or the inheritance programs that we need to clear? Just energies of panic on top of that. Okay, so is this enough to clear it? Let's go ahead and release this now. All the levels, all the layers, all of the reasons. We want to just release this for you. And let's go ahead and release for anyone listening any vows, contracts, oaths, agreements, obligations to experience lack in day-to-day life, to experience the feeling of lack, to experience lack in environment, to experience lack as an inside, even mental attitude. Can we release that? Let's release it. How many benefits from the perspective of higher self to experiencing lack. There's no benefit. Is there a perception on the ancestral lineage level or through the ancestral lineage that lack has a benefit? Yeah. So what's the benefit of lack from the perspective of the ancestral lineage? Protection. Justification. Justification for what? Hating others. Justification for having vengefulness toward others. If I have lack, then I can be really ticked off at people who have more. And so that's a justification. Are there any other benefit programs? So a benefit program, just to remind you, is when you have something that you would consider kind of crappy, limited, or unwanted, and there is a secondary gain from having that. And so I want to know if we can go ahead and release that. Let's go ahead and clear it through the ancestral lineage level. So for some of you, you have some stubborn ancestors that don't really want to get rid of this. And so does the ancestral lineage, for those who are listening, have connections here with wanting to stay in an energy, of poverty or lack? Even if there's wealth, there's a feeling or an attitude of poverty or lack. And so what's the underlying motivation? Suffering, energies of victimization, energies of hardship, and energies of subservience. And there's a belief here that if we experience this, we're going to look better in the eyes of the divine. The divine's going to see how much we've suffered and sacrificed and been victimized, and when we enter the kingdom of heaven, we'll be rewarded. And so what do we need to know about this? It's ultimately a big fat self-sabotage program. So what we want you to do is allow yourself to experience the divine through abundance. You don't have to experience a deeper connection with the divine through self-sacrifice, poverty, lack, and suffering. What about through joy, humor, prosperity, abundance, strength, consideration? What else? How else do we need to work with the divine? Optimism, through order, through the experience of miracles, through the energy of relaxation. There are all sorts of ways that we can have a deeper connection with the divine. So what I want to know is if we can bring this information, wisdom, light, understanding into the consciousness, into the awareness of the ancestral lineage, into the cellular level, into the awareness of anyone listening. So let's go ahead and bring that in. So we're just going to let that filter into everyone's awareness. Let's give everybody a little spiritual kick or rap in the head. How many vows, contracts, oaths, agreements, or obligations of poverty are still running? So it's an imprint of infinites. And so what does that mean? You have not taken a vow of poverty an infinite number of times. This is where you're connecting in on that energy through the collective. And so I want to know if we can go ahead and release that. Let's go ahead and let that go. Claire discarnates in possession, also holding poverty. Claire self-punishment. Claire manipulation as a negative motivation, which creates guilt, helplessness, and regret. Energies of poverty, lack, low self-esteem. Let's release it. Any other negative motivations to experience poverty or lack? What else are we bringing in for everyone on this subject? So let's download self-esteem, strength, the energy of freedom, and the energy of abundance. So what I'm hearing is there's a block here to the experience of abundance, the feeling of abundance, and the actual manifestation of abundance. So where do we go to start? This is a program of stinginess towards self and others. It was originally established in a past life. Again, a group consciousness program. The resulting energy that was unresolved is frustration, insecurity, anger, energies of hardship, disappointment, and rejection. Rejection of self, rejection of what? Acceptance of abundance. So, is this enough to clear it? Let's release it now. The lifetime, the program, the energies. Where else does anyone who is listening have any kind of an agreement to reject abundance? No, there's a fear of abundance. So what is the fear of abundance? Where does that come from? Self-punishment is a negative motivation. Anxiety is a negative motivation to limit your expression. The fear of abundance, the underlying energy, is actually relating to a fear of intolerance, a fear of jealousy, and a fear of judgment from others. So this is related to an unworthiness or a low self-esteem. Is this enough to clear it? Can I clear this without further research? Let's go ahead and release this. So I want you to just breathe on this one too. This is a lot of energy moving. Let's clear abuse of others, frustration towards self, helplessness, and rejection. Where is there an energy of loving to hate those who seem to have more, or what I'm hearing is those who seem to have everything? Thousands of reasons, hundreds of reasons, and infinites of levels. It's an energy of frustration, abuse of self, overwhelm, and an energy of panic. Clear it. So the abuse of self is because when you are hating on those who seem to have more or who seem to have everything, they're fine. They're not feeling that, but you are. You are holding the vibration of hate, the jealousy, the envy, the disgust, the judgment, the intolerance, and that does not feel good. That is really pulling you down, pulling down your vibration, and basically blocking you from everything that you say that you want. So let's pull suffering, clear helplessness, clear the abuse of others and the abuse of self, and clear the program of insanity. Clear conscious mind programming. Where else does anyone who is listening have an issue, a theme, or a challenge of jealousy with others? Yep. It's a program of exhaustion, frustration, loneliness, and it's blocking your ability to manifest something new. So can we clear it? Let's release it now. Let's give everybody a boost. Is there a fear of abundance? No. Is there a fear of wealth? Yes. So let's clear it as a form of slavery, enslaving oneself through experiences of hate of life, fear, loneliness, and energies of panic. Let's release it. So it's a lack of receiving, lack as an energy to hold on to so that you don't have to deal with the fear of abundance, fear of having more than you need. Where else is this located? Where else is there a fear? What about a discomfort with abundance? This could be an abundance of money, abundance of friendships, abundance of anything. So let's release codependency as a negative motivation. The needing other people's permission or approval before you will allow yourself to receive. So this is all resistance related. So can we clear it? Let's release that now. Clear conscious mind programs. Clear blocks to self-forgiveness, blocks to manifesting, and blocks to optimism. Anything else we need to clear about this? Anything more to do? Any place else where there's an inherited genetic lineage program creating lack, creating a block to abundance in any form, creating a block to security? No. So now that we've cleared that, can we make sure that everyone's high self, their non-physical team, that means your high self, your guides, your guardian angels, are all downloaded with all information, wisdom, light, and understanding regarding abundance and prosperity on this planet, in this time, space, reality, in the now? And let's just bring that in. We want to make sure that everyone working with you understands money, currency, the feeling of abundance, the feeling of prosperity here and now. So to what degree has that been integrated? Now, is anyone who is listening still running a resistance to receiving, a resistance to the feeling or the experience of abundance? The final element of this is the program of guilt. Guilt about having more than others. And what I'm hearing about this is it's a perception, because you can't run around and with everyone in your life check into how they feel in terms of their level of abundance and prosperity, and make sure that you're always staying right below how they're feeling. It's just this projection. It's a thought. It's a story. It's a story that you're running. So let's go ahead and pull this energy of this intolerance towards self and this guilt about the perception that you have more than others, that you should feel bad about that. Let's go ahead and release that. Let's clear blocks to releasing rejection of self and then release it. Where else is anyone blocking, denying, or rejecting themselves? Blocking, denying, or rejecting abundance, prosperity, the feeling of abundance, the feeling of prosperity. No. And so finally, what do we need to bring in today to really manifest something different? Let's download order, determination, loyalty towards self, gratitude, forgiveness towards self and others, and let's download the energy of receiving. So what's the accuracy, the completion, and the integration of this clearing? 100%. Is there anything more to do? I just want to make sure that all discarnates from past life research have been cleared. All imprints of others from past life research have been cleared. And let's make sure that everyone's blocks to manifesting have been cleared. All inherited blocks to manifesting from genetic lineage have been released. All blocks to manifesting that you are holding with your soul family have been released. And anything on the soul level through the Akashic records. Clear blocks to manifesting through the level of consciousness called Ascended Master. Okay, how does that feel? Everybody feel good about that? Everyone's happy? Is there anything more to do? So I'm just going to download a symbol. It's called the power symbol, and this is a sacred geometry symbol that's been downloaded with very supportive, uplifting, healing elements: love, compassion, supportiveness, friendliness, wisdom, faith. And we're just going to bring this into your being. I want you to imagine that this energy is moving down through your crown, through the chakras, into all the cells of your body, and really creating an energizing, healing, and uplifting experience for you. Let's shore up everyone's connection with the experience of faith, order, new life, and the energy of love. Good. Now, let's go ahead and apply the mop-up list. I want to thank myself, listeners, high self, everyone working with us, bringing forth light, releasing all darkness, limitation, and fear, and so it is. Yay, I like that one. I hope that you enjoyed this clearing. I hope that you do feel lighter and that you notice some more abundance, feelings of prosperity, feelings of gratitude, the ability to see all that you have, and a real openness, a real excitement, and an optimism to receive more. You never serve yourself or anyone else by being in an energy of lack. Especially at this time on the planet, we need to do all that we can to uplift ourselves and others. And when you are in alignment, when you are manifesting, when you are experiencing and creating and allowing miracles in your life, you are going to help to inspire others to do the same. So take care of yourself. I will be back next week with another free clearing. Bye for now.